Welcome, guys, to the TMP Sports Show. I'm Tyler, and I'm joined here today with my co-host, Peyton. Today, we're going to be looking at some free agency moves in the AFC, giving an in-depth analysis on it and grading it. We're going to start with the AFC East.
Just to give all you guys a little bit of a schedule, next week we will be covering a trip that we will be covering later on in the show, and we will be discussing all of that. It has to do with the draft. And then the week after that will probably be one of our last weeks, and that will cover movements after the draft and what teams look like after. But right now we're just going to be discussing everything that the teams have done in the offseason up to this point. And then when we get back from summer break, we're hoping to vary this whole thing up a little bit to do some other sports for you. But for right now, we're just going to cover the NFL because that's sort of the biggest things that are going on right now.
We're going to look at the Buffalo Bills first. Starting off with quarterback Kyle Allen. Obviously, not a replacement of Josh Allen, just a solid backup. Bring it in there. I like that. As a Miami Dolphins fan, backups are very important throughout the season. Signed running back Damian Harris. The Bills had a running back issue last year. Nyheim Hines was their guy, but he was not very consistent. I do like them bringing in a running back in free agency, but I don't know that Damian Harris is the guy.
Yeah, they had a really good season last year, and I don't know what that is to thank. I don't know. We obviously all saw that Josh Allen regressed last year with record number of picks thrown, interceptions, but I don't know if this is more of a wide-scale issue, if it's a coaching issue, which it really shouldn't be because not much has changed coaching level or quarterback level, but something needs to be fixed if Buffalo Bills wish to get their first-ever Super Bowl win sometime in the future.
They also re-signed a lot of their big-name guys, like linebacker Matt Milano, Jordan Poyer. They got their kicker back. They re-signed some of their guys to give themselves some depth. Overall,
nothing really extraordinary that would stand out to me that would make me be like, wow, this team is going to go all the way guaranteed. It's sort of like a stability thing. I mean, it would be a fair statement to say that they'd be the exact same.
Yeah.
I would expect the exact same season. If I got it, be perfectly fine, be up to expectations. I mean, if I got a Super Bowl team, be fine, be up to expectations because that's what they were this year. They were Super Bowl capable, but it was just they had a couple issues that really brought them down, especially in the postseason that really showed. I mean, you can see the game with the Bengals only scoring, 3 points? Was that the entire game? I forgot at this point, but
yeah.
And then barely beating the Dolphins that were crippled as it was. I mean, they have just little key issues that they can fix.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing big, but
yeah, I think I give them a C+. I mean, they kept their guys signed a little bit in areas where they need. Nothing really spectacular.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a B-. I think that their wide receiver movements and their running back movement will help very well, especially with Josh Allen somewhat regressing. I guarantee you they can probably fix that because he's in my top 5 quarterbacks right now. I mean, pretty much it. I mean, I would give it a B-, like I said. I wouldn't expect anything different from them this year. Nothing big, nothing small. They're not going to be the Rams like they did last year.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the Miami Dolphins. Now,
Dolphins.
We do have to discuss a bias. We have 2 different biases here.
What?
Tyler is a Miami Dolphins fan, and I am a avid Chiefs fan. We have to keep that in mind whenever we discuss these teams. So take his ratings and whatever he says with this section with a grain of salt.
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm purely analytical.
Okay.
So starting off, QB Mike White. As I discussed earlier, backups are important, especially with Tua quarterback and his injury proneness. I'm glad that we went out and got a backup quarterback.
What team was he with before?
He was with the New York Jets.
Okay.
He shared time with Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco on the Jets. So nothing crazy, but better than Zach Wilson. So
yeah, it's a backup 2-year deal it'll be useful. So
re-signed all 4 of their running backs last year despite being 26th in the league in rushing offense.
Yeah, that's really shocking. I mean, I've heard movement about what was his name?
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. I've heard movements about that, also with a couple other teams. But what's interesting is that they signed all of these running backs, and they still expect that they may have a shot at getting him, which is also surprising because I've also heard that they may need to do a couple salary cap cuts for that because he's asking for a pretty big amount.
What I've seen it as is these running backs don't have guarantees on their deals, so they can be cut with no penalty to the Dolphins. And we also have Byron Jones retired due to injury, so they'll be taking a pretty massive cap. I think his cap hit was $18 million.
18, okay, yeah.
So they'll free up a lot of cap space there.
I forgot what he was asking for at the Vikings, but I know it
Yeah,
was a
it's-
very large amount that they're probably
Yeah.
not going to accept. I
Yeah,
think they've
the
already
Vikings
signaled.
are out of cap space.
They've already signaled that they're not going to because
Yeah.
it's just way too
Yeah.
much. But I mean, that seems like a pretty low thing to do. I would say is like sign your running backs to a deal and then
Yeah,
like,
but it happens.
yeah, it's a part of the game. It's a part of being about a team. Yeah, it's just expected.
Next, 3 wide receiver signings.
Yeah.
There are 7 wide receivers in this wide receiver room right now.
Oh wow.
We are not going to end this season with 7 wide receivers.
Yeah.
So
someone's getting the boot.
obviously, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
they'll stay. They're already
they'll be
solid.
wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. I don't know who's going to be wide receiver 3. Chosen Anderson flashes, but he's kind of old. Braxton Berrios.
They've signed 7 of them. They have
No,
7 of them on
we've
base
got
right
7 total.
now? Oh, okay.
Braxton Berrios is a good slot guy. I probably won't keep all of them, so nothing notable there. So we got a tight end in a trade.
Yep.
He'll be a backup. Some depth at guard and edge. We signed Titans linebacker David Long. That's a good signing.
Another big one would be Jalen Ramsey for the Rams.
Yeah, got him for absolutely nothing. A 3rd-round pick and Hunter Long. So, 3rd-string tight end and a 3rd-round pick for Jalen Ramsey. I'll take that.
Okay.
Really happy with that.
Okay, what would you rate the
I think-
Dolphins overall
Yeah,
here?
I think overall, I grade them a B+ because I like that they addressed backup quarterback. Obviously, we had no running back at the start of free agency because they were all free agents.
Yeah.
So glad that we got some of those guys back. Like the linebacker signing. Really like the cornerback signing in Jalen Ramsey. Haven't addressed offensive line enough, though.
Yeah.
So
I feel like running back is still something that's also in the mid there.
yeah.
I mean, if you don't get player you're hoping to get, then this could be way out, and my grading system could be thrown out the door, and
Yeah.
I would grade them a lot lower. But I think right now what I would be confident in doing would be just a solid B. I mean, again, you're going to stability. What you had last year worked when Tua was functioning because of injuries. So what you want is, as a coaching staff, you just want to repeat that, but you want to give better weapons like a running back for when your quarterback is not either on the field or your backup quarterback has to be on the field. You want to give better weapons. So if they do get
Dalvin Cook.
So if they do get him, then I could see this team being very good.
Yeah.
Now, offensive line is still a problem, and
We'll
that's
see.
what caused Tua's issues. But anyway, I think a solid B. I think I expect a better season if Tua can keep himself alive. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I give him a B. Not expect anything different. Probably a little bit better. Let's move on here. Stay in this section. We're going to go into the New England Patriots. This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
They've kind of regressed over the last couple of years, but I mean, you kind of have to after you win 7 Super Bowls. Yeah.
So starting off with another quarterback signing. They signed Trace McSorley, which I know a lot of you guys are fans of Trace McSorley, but not, sorry to break your hearts here, not a solid quarterback. Definitely a backup to Mac Jones.
Yeah, definitely.
Signed running back James Robinson, backup to Travis Etienne on the Jaguars.
They signed Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
And you'll recognize his name from the Super Bowl. He was with the Chiefs. A lot of big plays that came by him. He's a weapon that they really need because I mentioned earlier to Tyler before the show that their main quarterback, Mac, is Mac Jones.
Struggling.
Yes, he is struggling. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I feel like he needs weapons down the field that he can use. And he didn't have that last year. And people think that he's bad. Yeah, you have the right to say that. But I think that he just needs somebody like Juju Smith-Schuster.
Doesn't help when you've got a defensive coordinator to offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that also does not help at all. Yeah. But
I like that Juju's shining. Also got out and went and got Miami Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
That's a big signing. Really addressed the offensive weapons that Mac has. I don't know that I like the running back signing. He's nothing special, but he'll get the job done. Replaces Damian Harris, my bad.
Going back to some of these weapons, tight end and wide receiver, Mike and Juju. I mean, they're both really good players. Don't get me wrong, but I don't feel like they can make or break this team in that sense. I feel like you need more than just these two. Now, obviously, you'll be looking for more in the draft, and that's a later conversation. But for right now, it doesn't inspire confidence, but it gives a little bit of confidence to me based on their performance last year.
Yeah, I think they're still missing their big play.
They are. I think Juju's a part of that. So is Mike.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they definitely they've had one of the better off seasons in free agency. They re-signed a lot of their guys as well for depth, as every team does. Address their issues. Still have the draft to get some guys.
Yeah, still have room for improvement. That's the thing about all of these ratings, is that they all have room for future improvement.
So I think I would grade the New England Patriots at a B+. Not quite an A, because they don't have, this isn't a free agency that goes, wow, these guys are going to be amazing. But definitely a positive free agency. You should be happy as a New England Patriots fan.
Yeah, I mean, I get it as a New England Patriots fan. You're not going to be happy. You don't have, what is it, the GOAT that they used to call him?
The GOAT.
Yeah, you don't have him anymore, but you do have what I consider to be a pretty good quarterback at this point. I feel like he can do some damage to any team he goes up against. I just feel like there's more to be done offensive-wise. I feel like Juju Smith-Schuster is a step in the right direction. Now the Mike deal is only a 1-year deal, so I could see possibly some salary problems coming up later. But so far, right now, this is, like Tyler said, this is a pretty good roster, but it can be improved. I'm going to give this, so far, what they've done, I'm going to give this probably a B-, because I feel like there is definitely more they could have done. But, they still have the draft, and all of this could change here in a couple weeks. So we will move on now. Let's go to the Jets. This is the big one. This is a very big one, especially with news that came out just today. They have a new quarterback, and it is Aaron Rodgers. This was a big trade that's been discussed for, months at this point? Yeah. They started negotiations.
Right as free agency opened, started negotiations. Kind of died down.
Then they paused negotiations, and then they started them. I think it was a day ago. I think it was a day or
days ago.
Day or two
this
ago.
Weekend.
Yeah, whatever. It was this weekend. Whatever the last weekend was. They started negotiations. It came through today. I don't know when. I heard about it just a couple hours ago, and I think it was maybe a little bit before that. But what Jets got is they got Aaron Rodgers. They also got a number 15 overall pick for this year's draft and a 5th round, number 170 round. And they sent to Green Bay a 1st round number 13, a 2nd round number 24, and a 6th round number 207. And they also get a conditional 2024 pick that can become a 1st rounder.
So that the details on that 2024 2nd round pick is that if Aaron Rodgers plays over 65% of snaps for the New York Jets, then that 2nd round pick will become a 1st round pick for Green Bay. So,
which, let's be honest, it will happen.
Yeah.
he will play more than 65%.
We don't want Zach Wilson. They don't want Zach Wilson.
No.
Signed another quarterback in Tim Boyle.
Yep.
Backup.
Most likely backup.
Yeah.
Now, will he be 2nd, or do you think he'll be 3rd? I mean,
I'm not really familiar with Tim Boyle, so I can't.
I'm not. I can't say anything fair
about him either. I can't say if he's better than Zach Wilson, but I'd be hopeful. Watching Zach Wilson last year, I'd be hopeful that he is better than Zach Wilson.
Now they did sign some weapons here to go along with Aaron Rodgers, so this could be a dangerous team that you're dealing with here if you're in this division. You have Mecole Hardman, which is also with him.
Yep, Chiefs wide receiver.
Yep, for a $6.5 million deal, and that's only 1 year. But then you have Alan Lazard for a 4-year, $44 million deal, that can be a pretty bad weapon along with Aaron Rodgers. Both of those can be.
That's a big signing for the Jets because you get that Green Bay chemistry. I believe that was one of the wide receivers that Aaron Rodgers told the Jets they were going to have to go out and get if he was to play for the New York Jets. But, definitely a scary team. Of course, got some depth. Went out and re-signed their star linebacker, Quincy Williams, to a pretty big deal. Got a safety from Baltimore Ravens, Chuck Clark.
Not much else with them. I mean, I say not much else, but they did get a massive quarterback deal and 2 pretty big wide receivers. So
I'm going to go A-.
You give them an A-. I think it's yet to be seen. I don't know how the chemistry is going to work between Aaron Rodgers and all these people, but I see it could be a very good thing. But then you could also have Aaron Rodgers did regress last season.
Yeah.
That's fair to say. Anybody with a normal mind, even Green Bay fans, can say that he did not perform up to standards last season.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and I don't know how this is going to work with all these people. I would hate to see this, but it could turn into another Broncos situation.
Mm-hmm.
I would hate to see that.
I would not.
But it could happen. Yeah, okay. He's a Dolphins fan. Anyway, I would give this, I'd give this a B. Just a normal B. Because, I mean, I feel like this could work, but I could also feel like it could just collapse in on itself and be one of the worst things possible. Yeah. But I feel like the better thing.
I think, so I gave mine an A-. I think I give mine an A-. They went out and addressed their issues. I mean, they have a star defense, really good defense. Really nothing that they needed to do there. They went out on offense and they signed some help. So we're looking at their wide receiver room right now. They got their star rookie from last year, Garrett Wilson, Mecole Hardman, Allen Lazard. That wide receiver room is scary.
Yeah.
They got quarterback Aaron Rodgers there now. They got running back Breece Hall, rookie last year, who was really good before he was injured. So, yeah, they did what they needed to do, got their business done, and ready to go.
Have it all under control. I feel like this team is also going to be very dangerous if Mecole Hardman and Allen Lazard play up to their normal standards, which I don't know why they wouldn't. But if Aaron Rodgers can pull it together and not regress again, then that could be pretty good. I don't know if that's an age thing or if that's just he didn't enjoy the Packers last season, he didn't enjoy coaching, whatever, so on and so forth. But I feel like it's a new start, and I feel like it could be new possibilities. But we'll move on. Let's go to the AFC North. We're going to start things off with the Ravens. Not much here, surprisingly.
Ravens are interesting. Whole lot of drama going on with Lamar Jackson. He received the non-exclusive franchise tag. They offered him a contract. It was a pretty large contract. I believe it was a 3-year, $170 million deal.
Yeah.
And he turned it down. Yeah.
I don't know.
They're playing. He will play for them if he's not signed by anybody else. The Ravens do not have an exclusive franchise tag on him, so he can go somewhere else, but he will play for the Ravens if nobody else signs him.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. I don't know where he's looking at going. I don't know. I just don't think he's as good as probably what he thinks. I mean, he's a good quarterback, but he's not in my top 5. He would not be in my top 5. I think he may be in top 10, maybe.
At least.
Maybe. But he's going out there and trying to get offers like if Mahomes was out there trying to get offers or Joe Burrow was out there trying to get offers. And I feel like a little snap of reality is going to come back and get him here. If he doesn't sign with the team, now he may just decide to sign with the Ravens. But with all the drama that's been going on recently between the Ravens and him, I find that hard to believe. But I don't know. I don't know what the Ravens would do if they don't get him back. I don't know what their secondary option is. But, yeah, I mean, not much happened. Not much has happened here. That's pretty much the biggest thing with the Ravens. They did re-sign their running back, Justice Hill.
Recently, they went out and got Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, yep.
They didn't play last year due to injury. What was it, Super Bowl 56?
Yeah.
With the Rams. Tore his ACL. Didn't play last year. Was signed by them on an $18 million one-year contract.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
$18 million for 1 year. That's pretty big, but
yeah.
I mean.
And I don't know that I would have signed him. He's getting older.
That is true.
Come off a torn ACL. That's a pretty big bet. But like I said before, you can cut him and not have to take the full $18 million hit. They also signed wide receiver Nelson Aguilar. I believe he was with the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big signing.
Yeah, he's been
inconsistent.
Yeah.
I would give the Ravens.
He's one of those faulty weapons that Mac had downfield that I mentioned earlier, that Mac had some inconsistent weapons, and he is one of them. And for the Ravens to go sign him and then also have their quarterback position sort of in this weird flux area, it's weird to say the least. But what would you grade him overall for this offseason?
Probably B-.
Okay. B
minus? Yeah. I think it's a B- because obviously their quarterback isn't locked up. Their star quarterback's not locked up. He can go somewhere else. They did get some help to try and incentivize him to come back. But, if Lamar Jackson leaves, that team's done for. you don't want to watch a Baltimore Ravens Tyler Huntley-led team.
No, you don't. And I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they have to explore other options if they get to the point where they know he's not going to be with them next season, which that's what it looks like. I think just because of the quarterback situation, the instability, and then Nelson Aguilar, I think I'd give them a D plus would probably be good. I mean, this just doesn't inspire confidence. I would not be happy right now if I was a Baltimore Ravens fan. I would look at this and I'd be very scared for even the next couple years, just looking at this with Lamar Jackson wanting to leave. And I mean, I haven't been following up on all that controversy, but I know there's been a lot, and I just don't know. They need to lock up a quarterback, a good, consistent quarterback, which he is, but it seems like he doesn't want to be with them anymore. So
I guess mine's generous because I think they will work something out with Lamar, and they have good draft stock. So
yeah.
We'll see at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Next we got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else they need other than offensive linemen. They really need offensive linemen.
He had Joe Burrow, their star quarterback, had an absurd amount of sacks this year because of their offensive linemen. It was horrible. I remember watching I think it was the divisional game with the Chiefs and the Bengals. There was a point in that game where their star quarterback, one of the best in the league, Joe Burrow, had the same amount of sacks as he did completions because he just couldn't get the ball out of his hands in time because the Chiefs line just forced their way through this lukewarm offensive line that the Bengals
had. Wet paper
had.
Towels and offensive lineman right there. So they did address that. They went out and got offensive tackle, left tackle, I believe, from the Kansas City Chiefs, Orlando Brown.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That is a very big one.
Signed a big deal, 4-year, $64 million contract.
Yeah.
They really want to protect their quarterback, which I wish the Miami Dolphins would feel the same. But I mean, they've already got playmakers on offense at wide receiver, running back. Defense is fine. Wow, defense is okay. So I think overall relatively unshocking, I guess.
Yeah,
not very shocking.
I mean, as if I was in the coaching room for the Bengals, I think that you're not trying to change anything dramatic. You're not trying to make a major shift. You're just trying to keep the momentum that you've had for the past however is it many years, and you're trying to build on it. That's what they're doing, and it's impressive with the Orlando Brown signing, trying to improve their team overall, even though it's one of the best teams in the league, arguably, right now. Mm-hmm. So I think overall, I'd give the Bengals an A- right now.
A-.
Yeah, I think they've done a lot of good things that they've really needed, especially with that offensive line, which was their biggest Achilles heel during the playoffs, as everyone saw.
I'll give them a B, just because I don't think left tackle was really the area they needed to address. I think there was other parts on the offensive line to address, but it's an upgrade at left tackle, so that's good for the team. So I think they had a decent offseason.
I mean, Bengals aren't dropping out of the playoffs or leading team spot for a while now. Yeah. So especially with Joe Burrow possibly getting a even bigger contract.
Yep.
Is it next year? Yeah.
I think he gets free agency next year.
Yeah. Moving on to some teams that need a lot of help. Let's talk about the Browns.
Signed quarterback Joshua Dobbs.
That is interesting. That is very interesting.
I think he's third string for
he is?
for the Tennessee Titans.
Oh.
So they got Deshaun Watson and that ludicrous deal that they signed.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson. I won't say anything about him, but Joshua Dobbs I think will be the third string there because they got Deshaun Watson, probably going to be the starter, and then Jacoby Brissett will probably be second string. Mm-hmm. Got a decent wide receiver in Marquise Goodwin, and Elijah Moore. They got a big wide receiver in Elijah Moore. So I think they really helped out Deshaun there with having Amari Cooper was really their only weapon on their team at wide receiver. So I think they go out, they get Elijah Moore. You have a solid wide receiver 2 now. Marquise Goodwin can come in there, play wide receiver 3, and you've got a pretty good wide receiver room. They've got Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the league. They didn't really need to look at that. They they addressed their defense in signing defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson to a 4-year, $57 million contract. That's a big signing. That defensive line was letting
it was bad to say the least.
Yeah,
I think
letting
last year.
teams run all over them. So they go out and get a dog at Dalvin Tomlinson. So I think I grade them a C.
Okay.
They had a pretty average.
Yeah,
offseason. I mean,
you look at their season last year. I mean, you see. Oh, I forgot what their entire season was. I forgot what they went. It was obviously negative, but it was. It's just a dependency on how far negative. But they did beat a couple good teams, if you want to say that. I mean, they beat Tampa Bay, which was. They beat Tom Brady in one of his last years, which wasn't his best year by a long shot. But they also beat the Bengals in Week 8, which was, I think, shocking to everyone. That one ended 30-something to
I can't remember.
like it was in the teens.
I'm pretty sure they've got some sort of voodoo ritual going on there.
I don't know how that even happened.
Bengals over and over again. The Bengals need to fix something. You can't be letting the Cleveland Browns have your number.
They fixed it. I mean, they fixed it. They started poor, but yeah. Anyway, I think I'd rate these. Movements in offseason, I think I'm gonna give it a C+. I think I would give it a C+. Nothing major here. Yep. I don't think any of these are gonna change their. I think you're still looking at a normal Browns. Browns fans know what I say know what I'm saying when I say it's a normal Browns season. Just same, most likely.
Don't expect a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I wouldn't even expect playoffs. I don't think I would expect that from this team. Maybe I'm wrong. We I'm surprised. Maybe I get shocked. But I would definitely not expect much from this team, given that this is all that they've done. Now, we still have draft. That's important asterisk to put it wrong.
Yeah,
all of this,
everything. Yeah.
Everything that we say here, that there is still the draft and more stuff that will happen later.
Saw the Jets last year.
Yeah.
Went out and got 3 really good rookies.
Yeah.
So anything can change after the draft.
Yep. Okay, let's move on here. So we have the Steelers. Yeah, interesting one. They didn't really perform well last year at all. They weren't good. But I'm gonna
go ahead and say I am not a Kenny Pickett fan. I don't think he's the man. Sorry, Steelers fans. I know you really like your boy there, but I don't think he's the future. So they went out and tried to get him some help in Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson's a solid wide receiver. He just didn't get targeted. A lot of jokes about that last season. But got Allen Robinson. I've seen some rumors that Deontay Johnson is going to be traded. That's scary as a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who else you have at wide receiver.
They need to be improving their
wide receiver room and not
and
making it worse.
Seems like they're sort of regressing.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be actively shopping for a new quarterback just yet, but I think if we're given a couple of seasons of the same thing that we did last year, I think it may be time to possibly look for a new quarterback maybe. I don't know. Steelers fans get mad at me, but that's just what I'm thinking right now.
They really bolstered their defense this offseason, signing Larry Ogunjobi to a 3-year, $28 million contract. Just makes that defensive line that much better. Went out and got 2 linebackers in Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts, former Miami Dolphins linebacker. And I got to tell you, I wouldn't be too excited about that Landon Roberts signing. He was a weak spot on that defense.
Again, not impressive.
Patrick Peterson. Pat Pete's getting old.
Yeah. We need some new blood here.
Yeah.
We're going to need something new.
You maybe get 1 or 2 good years out of him. Which I guess they only signed him for 2 years. So.
Yeah. They got it under control.
Yeah.
So, looking at their season, it was sort of like the same thing as the Browns, really. They had a couple highs, but everything else was low. Yeah. Again, They beat a couple good teams. They beat the Bengals once. I mean, I think it was the first week though, so I guess we could cut them some slack a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, not much else. All their other wins were against other lukewarm to, I think we can say, garbage teams like the Colts and I think Falcons would also go in that group. But
yeah.
Anyway, I think overall what I'd give them, I think what they've done with wide receivers is also really good, but I also don't think that this is going to change the game for the Steelers. I think I'd put them at I think I'm going to go another solid C+ for this one.
I think I'm going to go with you there on a C+. I mean, they get their young quarterback some help. I mean, maybe Kenny Pickett is that guy. We'll see. Helped him out. They've got a star running back. They don't need to change bolster their defense. I mean, yeah.
Okay. We're going to move on to the AFC South here with
the Texans.
Yeah, not arguably. This is pretty set in stone. One of the worst team overall last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, their worst team offensive-wise, I think would be fair to say. They have done a lot. Wow, and I can say with somewhat confidence that all that they have done will probably not be enough to get them out of their slump. But I could be proven wrong. I have been before. So
they signed Case Keenum to a 2-year, $6.3 million contract. That move may surprise some people, but I think I think they're going to draft a quarterback. Either C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, maybe they go Anthony Richardson or Will Levis as a kind of surprising pick. But I think he's just going to be there as a solid veteran backup to hopefully a rookie star.
Now, do they have number 2 overall pick? Was that what theirs is?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Because I know that the Panthers have the number 1.
Panthers have number 1.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know who they would pick for draft-wise. I don't know who they're going for.
I think Bryce Young's going number 1 overall.
You think? Well, I'm saying for them.
So I think they get C.J. Stroud.
You think they're going for C.J. Stroud?
I think they'll go for C.J. Stroud.
Who do you think they're gunning for, though? Like, who do you think they want?
I think everybody in the league should want Bryce Young.
Okay. Also, he is an Alabama fan. That is also a big asterisk here, too.
Yeah, but I think Bryce Young is by far the most talented quarterback.
He's pretty good. I think his height could be a disadvantage that may turn some teams away, just because you look at him, what was he, 5'11"?
5'11", 3/4, something like that.
Which, that's average, I think, for a normal American man. But,
above average.
Okay, for normal quarterbacks, he is, awfully small. 5'11" is average for a normal person, but not for quarterbacks. Quarterbacks need height on them, and that could drive some people away, but I think he's shown his talent on the field, and I don't know if that's what the Texans are going for, or I don't know if that's what the Panthers are going for. I don't know. Maybe he's 3rd overall. Who knows? But anything can happen on draft day.
They re-signed some big offensive tackle in Laramie Tunsil. Thank you, Laramie Tunsil, for those trades for the Miami Dolphins a while back. But Laramie Tunsil got another big deal. 3-year, $75 million contract extension. Again, to protect that quarterback, hopefully star rookie quarterback for them. I think they're banking a lot on this guy, whoever they draft.
Yeah. You have to be.
Yeah.
They have nobody else.
What concerns me, they didn't get this guy wide receiver help.
Yeah.
Robert Woods and Noah Brown, 2 pretty lackluster wide receivers there. Robert Woods, obviously being the better one, maybe with a good quarterback, he figures it out. But I don't know. I don't like their offseason. I'm gonna go with a C-.
Okay. I think I'd go with you, a C-. They have, basing their team right now, it's absolutely one of the worst teams in the league if they were to play right now.
For sure.
They will get a new quarterback. That is a guarantee. They will. Either 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
It's one of the top 3, but
I don't know how you go into this draft and not get a quarterback. So
yeah, that's off the table. They're going to get one. I think I'd give them a C-, just mainly because whoever goes in there is not probably going to have a fun time at all. I don't see a star quarterback for any college team changing that much. I mean, he needs more weapons. It's sort of like a New England thing again. It goes back to it. I mean, you can be good. You can be a good quarterback. You can do all the right things. But if you have nobody downfield, you have no weapons that are with you, then you're going to fail along with everybody else. But, yeah, I think C- for right now would be pretty stable to say. Don't expect a Super Bowl team is sort of what I would say. Don't expect them.
Yeah. We did look over Dalton Schultz. That's a good signing at tight end.
Yep.
From
it's
the Cowboys.
1 year for $9 million. That's impressive.
But still C-. I don't think that changes.
Yeah, I mean, Noah Brown and Robert Woods is not impressive. They're not
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, it's not Juju Smith-Schuster. It's not. Anyway.
So the Colts signed Gardner Minshew, another one of those veteran quarterbacks. Although he's relatively young, he has experience in the league. He's going to come in, be a backup. They're going to draft a quarterback. Looking at their wide receivers from last year, they got Michael Pittman Jr., solid wide receiver. So I don't know that there was too much of a glaring issue to address, but I would have liked to see them get somebody that wasn't Isaiah McKenzie or Ashton Doolin in the offseason. But
yeah, it's an offensive issue when it comes to this team. They've been on the quarterback carousel for years at this point, it feels like.
Since Andrew Luck.
Yeah, and they need something new. They've been, how many quarterbacks have they gone through?
I don't know. They keep getting old guys to come in and have them fix all their problems, and it never works.
Yeah, they could just mess the whole thing up. It's sad to see, but I mean, hopefully there's some improvement because they had pretty good time when they got a good quarterback last time that was young off the draft. So maybe it happens again. Maybe this is a good team.
Maybe they strike gold.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I'm going to go with a D+.
You're going to go with a D+. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I don't like this.
I was going to go with the C. Here. I mean, I would like to see more happening, especially with a team that was this, I think, bad last year. I would like to see a lot more. Who knows? Maybe a quarterback comes in and fixes all the issues, and voila, that was the only problem last year. That's not my opinion. I think there was a lot more wrong than what. There's a lot more wrong than just a quarterback. Let's just say that there's more issues, more glaring issues here with an offense overall.
Yeah,
and it may be even a coaching issue. Who knows? But
yeah. Moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, another backup quarterback seems to be a theme here.
Now, not much going on with this team because, I mean, you think about it, they made it to the playoffs, yeah, and they faced the Chiefs, the now known Super Bowl winners, and they put up a good fight against them. The Chiefs only won by, I believe it was within one possession game. So,
yep.
I mean, they seemed to have it figured out. They were very rough at the beginning of the season. I think they went like 7-2. I think it was very rough going 7-2 like that. But yeah, I mean, you're kind of struck gold at the end of the season there. I don't know what happened. I don't know what gears locked together, but they started operating and they were a force to be reckoned with after that point. Very dangerous team. They came back in a playoff game against the Chargers. I think it was like
27-0.
27-0, and they still won that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's also a thing about the Chargers. But yeah, a good team overall. So they don't need to do much, but they just need to maintain what they've done and improve slightly if they want to get to that Super Bowl team stance. So
yeah, running back Travis Etienne Jr. had a breakout season last year.
Oh yeah.
Don't need to address running back, wide receivers. They got Christian Kirk for another 1 or 2 years, I believe.
Yeah.
They've franchise tag Evan Ingram. They did what they needed to do. Bolstered their defense a little bit, signing Roy Robertson Harris on a 3-year, $30 million extension. And got their safety Andrew Wingard back. Nothing spectacular, but again, wasn't much that they need to fix.
Yeah, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they've shown that, especially with their playoff performances and towards the end of the season. If they can keep that going, this will be a scary team that any team will have to go up against. They have some weapons, so
I'll give them a C.
Give them a C. Okay,
A C plus.
I'm thinking I'm gonna give them a B minus.
B minus.
B minus. Yeah.
B minus.
I like where we're at, and slight improvements. We also have draft, but they've made little improvements, and I feel like they know that they don't need to make sharp adjustments anymore, like the Texans or the Colts need to do. They just need to sort of keep it on a track, keep it going, just keep it the way it is. So I think we're gonna move on now to the Tennessee Titans.
Some rumors surrounding the Tennessee Titans. If you've watched any Tennessee Titans football in the past 4 years, you would know Derrick Henry is their offense.
It's pretty much their only offense if you watched last season.
And I've heard a lot of rumors that
Sorry, if some of you guys don't know, that is their running back. That is an absolute beast and can run through a tree if he wanted to. But
yeah, it's like tackling a tractor.
Yeah.
He's. I've been hearing rumors that he's been shopped. They're looking at trading him. And if they do so, then sorry, Tennessee Titans fans, but this is a rebuilding year for you.
I don't know why.
If they get rid of.
I don't know why you would get rid of him. I just don't know. I mean, if he was asking for too much, but
I think it's a. They've looked at this. They signed that guy hoping that he was the missing piece, but they've just got too many issues everywhere else, and so his contract's eaten up, and they've decided, okay, really good player. We're going to see what we can get for him picks-wise and try and rebuild this team from the ground up, which I think they need to do.
If they do go shopping with him, then whoever gets him will be
that much better.
They'll be dangerous running back-wise.
I've heard Eagles are looking at him, and my oh my NFC, look out.
Yeah, if the Eagles get him or I forgot his name again.
Dalvin?
Yes, Dalvin, yes. Then they will be weapons. I mean, they're already weapons because their quarterback is very good.
Yeah,
he's in my top 3, but
we'll get to his amazing deal later.
Yeah, we'll get to his team here in a little bit, but yeah, I mean, not much with them. I mean, I think we're going towards a rebuilding time for them. They had their glory. They had their time in the playoffs, and I think they're sort of on a downward, trying to get back upward slope now.
Yeah,
they're at the low part in the bell curve here, but yeah. What would you give them a grade as?
A D.
You give them a D. Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. Yeah, that's definitely not impressive so far. There's nothing that shouts out to me, we're going to the Super Bowl. Nothing like that. Nothing like that at all.
Moving on to the AFC West and the Denver Broncos. Wow, what a lackluster season last year.
It was supposed to be amazing. It was supposed to be a Chiefs contender, but
a Chief killer.
Yeah, I think that's what someone called it.
Did not happen. You can't go out and sign another quarterback to replace Russell Wilson because you're paying him such an astronomical price. So they went out and got a backup, as most teams did. Mm-hmm. Went out and signed Samaj P. Ryan. He's been decent, better than their Broncos running backs last year. So hopefully that helps bolster that offense there.
Offense was not impressive when it was supposed to be.
No.
Make that very clear for anybody that's listening and did not watch that much Broncos football last year, even though it was plastered all over prime time. It was not an exciting offense to watch at all. No. It was very disappointing.
They went out and signed Marquez Callaway to give Russell Wilson and Jerry Jeudy a little bit of help. I I like that signing. You don't need necessarily a star. You've already got a star in Jerry Jeudy. So I like that. Went out and got Ben Powers, offensive guard, on a 4-year, $52 million deal. Give Russell Wilson some more time. Let Russ cook. He needs to figure it out. I think
coaching needed to be figured out, and I think that may be fixed.
They got the coach from the Saints, Sean Peyton.
Sean Peyton. Okay.
Sean Peyton from the Saints. Huge coach. Huge coaching upgrade.
We'll see how that works.
Yeah, I think that'll help Russell figure out some of his issues.
He also needs to work with the team. He needs to stop looking at this as if it's like a business deal. He needs to look at this more of like any quarterback should, like it's a family, personal thing. He needs to sit down with his team, learn about plays and everything, so you're not giving Seahawk play out.
Yeah, Seattle audibles.
Audibles in the middle of a game. And, I mean, it's just simple things that, I mean, their new coach has already addressed. I mean, he doesn't need his own office in the stadium. No. He doesn't need his own advisory staff there. No, that's all separate. If he wants to do that a part of his business thing, he goes and does that. Like any good quarterback, you look at Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, their office is the locker room and their workplace is the field in the stadium. They don't have their own office somewhere in the stadium. That's their own personal, you go do that yourself. When you're at the stadium, you're with your team, you learn football, you're not off trying to do some sandwich deal with an advertising company like he did. You don't do that. I mean, you work with your team, especially if you're supposed to be this good. It's simple things that you think somebody of his
caliber.
Caliber. Yeah, that's good. That somebody of his caliber would know
be able
to
do. Execute. Yeah. Bolstered their defense, which is scary. They had a really good defense last year.
It was very good last year. That was the only scary part about the Broncos, to be completely honest.
Yeah, they went out and got Zach Allen on a 3-year, $50 million deal. Yep. Huge. Went out and got linebacker Alex Singleton on a 3-year deal. Re-signed him. So, yeah, just bringing back a guy that was solid for your team. I don't know. If Russ gets it figured out, I think this team's scary.
It's a scary defensive team right now. If they can get offense figured out before their defense collapses because of contracts and everything, then you can have your Chiefs killer conversation. But for right now, let's everybody hold off on that conversation until Russell gets his, mind figured out. I don't know what he's dealing with right now. I don't know why he's so bad, but
yeah, I give the Broncos I'll give them a C+.
C+.
No big stars here, but they went out, re-signed their players on defense, got a solid wide receiver too, got a decent running back. They did what they needed to do last offseason. I think they just need that to develop this season.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody that has watched the Broncos this season, not as a fan, just as somebody that wanted to watch and see what Russell Wilson would do for them, I wasn't impressed, and I think the only place that they can go from this point is up. If they go down from this point, then there needs to be some serious issues, and this entire roster needs to be blown up and just rebuild if that happens. But I would rate the offseason, I think I'd give it a B, no, C+. C+, what I'm feeling.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, you're not making big changes.
No.
Because they feel like that they're betting on, again, Russell Wilson, I guess you could say coming into maturity with the team, building himself with the team. But it's a lot to bet on, especially with how he performed last season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the winners of the Super Bowl last year, and my favorite team, so bias check here.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. I'll let you start here.
Not happy with their offseason. The only notable deal, in my opinion, is Jawan Taylor, replacing Orlando Brown. They went out and got him on a 4-year, $80 million deal. But I guess if you're a Chiefs fan, don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah, don't let it go down the drain if it's working right now.
Andy Reid knows what he's doing. It's a bad bet to bet against Andy Reid.
Yeah. And Mahomes, both of them together. Both of them and Travis Kelce. Yeah. And any fill-in-the-blank wide receiver is basically a bad combination of
Andy Reid's shown that he can take a bum of a wide receiver and turn him into a star.
Because he used to be for the Eagles for I forgot how many years, and then he came over to the Chiefs, and I don't know how long it's been since he's had a negative season. It's been a while.
Yeah.
If he's had one, he's had to have had one, but he's a good coach. He is a very good coach overall, and it's a bad bet, like you said, to bet against him. But I feel like the Chiefs need to do more. They do have a good amount of draft picks for this draft, so
probably going to draft a wide receiver to replace Cole and Juju.
They've been talking to, I believe,
Zay
Flowers. Yes, that was his name. They've been talking and training with him, unknown how that's going to work, because I believe their first pick is like 31st overall, and which is kind of low for Zay Flowers if he's still on at that point. I feel like there's more issues than that come up, but they may need to trade up a little bit for that. But I mean, again, don't fix what's broken. I mean, don't break what you have. But I mean, it's impressive what they did last year, and if they can keep it going, which I feel like they can, especially because Travis Kelce is on for at least, I'd say confident. How many more years does he have on his contract? Two more years?
I believe.
Okay. Estimate around 2 more years. And then Mahomes is still there. He's burning through his 10-year contract. Yeah, he'll be there for a while. Andy Reid said he's not retiring. So, yeah. So, dangerous team. They'll probably stay a dangerous team. Nothing
No Chiefs killers in the AFC West yet.
No, not yet. I mean, we'll get to the 2 other teams, but all the teams that were supposed to be Chiefs killers in this AFC West conference, they weren't. Let's just be completely honest. None of them were. A lot of them went negative. The Chargers were mid, but we'll get to them later. I mean, overall, their offseason, don't fix something that works, I guess. I mean, so I think I'd give them a B- on this. I mean, you already have the perfect combination. You just need to replace a couple of wide receivers and, I mean, fix up a couple of places, which they've shown with the Taylor signing. But
okay.
I mean,
I want to preface this. I'm not a Chiefs hater, but D+. I mean, you've got one notable signing.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I feel like you could do more in the offseason, but again, Andy Reid just has a reason. So I'm not saying they're going to be bad. With what they've signed, I can't grade it higher.
Yeah, yep. I get that too, because I mean they gave away a couple weapons that were very needed. I mean they'll replace them. They find a way. That this team is not going to go negative. This team is not going to miss the playoffs. Let's be completely honest. They have probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league, top 3. They have
possibly all time. We'll see.
Yeah. The Travis Kelce continues to outperform almost every tight end in this entire league, and Andy Reid has shown himself to be a weapon by himself and his cheeseburgers. But so they're a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, their off season right now isn't that impressive, but okay. We'll move on to the last 2 teams. We'll go to the Raiders now, the team that was supposed to be dangerous. Supposed to be one of the more dangerous ones, but
you ready for the Las Vegas Raiders big signing?
Yeah.
Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G
coming to the Raiders. Raiders fans, you've got yourself a mid quarterback on a 3-year, $73 million deal. How do you feel about that?
Who's their head coach? Who is he?
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels, that's his name. Yeah. Why is he trying to recreate like all of the teams combined, like all of the past Super Bowl teams combined? He has Jimmy G from the 49ers and the Patriots, both of them Super Bowl contenders. Yeah. And he signed a bunch of other people that were also from the Patriots, another Super Bowl
Jacoby
team.
Myers.
Yeah, there's more than that. I can't name them all, but he's just trying to.
O.J. Howard.
I don't know if his time with his time with the Patriots, I guess, taints him to say that. I mean, they're the best players ever, and he's trying to get them all over to the Raiders. But it'll be an interesting mix-up because I mean, you have Jimmy G, which is I don't know if he's
not that guy. He's not going to come in and be that guy.
I don't think he is. I think
I can't reasonably say that he's worth that $73 million.
People talk about how he made it to the Super Bowl with the 49ers, but I don't know if that's something that you give to Garoppolo, if that's something that you give to the 49ers.
The 49ers and that system. That system was built to make it with a mid quarterback.
Yeah, I've said it over and over again, and we'll get to the 49ers in another
episode.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's easy to play quarterback for the 49ers or if every quarterback that goes to the 49ers is mid to good. But anyway, yeah, he is coming to Las Vegas. Earlier in the offseason, some people possibly thought the GOAT would come here, but he retired. So
yeah.
Just some other offensive movements that
Jacoby Myers
they needed.
Jacoby Myers was decent. He was the wide receiver 1 for the Patriots. Decent move. Going to be wide receiver 2 behind Devontae Adams. I mean, I like that. Go out and get yourself a good wide receiver 2. I think Hunter Renfro's still there, so he'll probably be wide receiver 3 in the slot. They got Austin Hooper, which is not going to be a replacement to Darren Waller. But you got to go out and fill that gap, I guess. A lot of depth signings as well.
For those of you that are listening, we have the list of all of their offseason movements pulled up in front of us right now. And
by far the longest list.
By far the longest. It's like they detonated their team.
Yeah.
They nuked it, and they're trying to rebuild it because last season was embarrassing.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
With a Raiders fan. How long was his contract? I completely forgot.
3 years.
3 years. Okay, well.
Have a fun next 3 years,
we'll see.
Raiders fans.
We'll see. I mean, we've been wrong before. He could be very good. He could.
Yeah.
But, I mean, history shows differently, but he could be that new quarterback that they need. Who knows?
We shall see.
Yeah. What do you give him overall for this so far, what we see?
D.
Give him a D.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo on a $73 million deal is unexplainable.
I think, I mean, they needed somebody. I mean.
Yeah, you got rid of Derek Carr.
Yeah, I mean, which they needed to get rid of Derek Carr as well. I want to make that very clear because he wasn't impressive. But I think with everything they've done, they're betting it all in right now. So if it works out, it's going to work out well. If anything goes wrong, then it will go really poorly. So I think I'm going to give this one either a C+ or a B-. I think I'm going with more of a C+ on this one. Okay, and our last team, pretty short, nothing major changed here. They're another team that sort of wants to keep everything on track. It is the LA Chargers.
Yep, signed backup quarterback Easton Stick. Go in there and help Justin Herbert out. Justin Herbert had, I think, just one injury last year, but won a solid guy back there.
Yeah.
Their only other notable signing was they went out and got Eric Kendricks from the Vikings. Really solid linebacker there. I mean, I guess you're a playoff team. If it works, leave it.
Yeah, I mean.
But kind of a disappointing offseason if you're going to try and compete in the AFC West with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I would put them at. They were second place last season. Nobody can argue about that. Yeah, they were definitely second place, but they were supposed to be head to head next to Chiefs holding hands, and they weren't when they should have been. And I don't know. I definitely don't blame that on head quarterback, man. I don't blame that.
Justin Herbert?
Yes. Yeah, I don't blame that on him. I don't blame it on.
Their coaching is atrocious.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to boil it down to. I mean, don't waste him. Justin Herbert is amazing. Let's be completely honest. He has what it takes. You are wasting his talent, and I mean, please don't. I mean, make it entertaining for everybody that's watching at home. Don't throw him down the drain because, I don't know, you go sign some washed up stuff for him to fight with downfield.
He's got Keenan Allen, who's getting old.
Yeah, they need something else, and
Austin
they don't.
Eckler's wanting to leave as well, and so, yeah,
It's not good when it should be good. That's sort of what I'm trying to say here, and you need more than what is it, 5, 6, 7 so far? Seven signings so far has been their entire offseason,
and that's with re-signing.
That's all of the re-signings that we didn't mention, all of the new signings we didn't mention.
Yeah, they've re-signed 6 guys.
Re-signed 6 guys.
5, sorry.
And other people have signaled that they're going to leave or have already left. So you need to
fix it.
Come draft time, something needs to be done. And like right now, stuff needs to be done to make this team good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, so far what they've done for the offseason, what would you rate them?
I'll give them a D.
Give them a D
plus.
A D plus.
They didn't sign a terrible quarterback to a $73 million deal. So
yeah,
I'll give them a little bit better. But
they also did not need to blow up their entire team.
Yeah.
So that is something they need to do more than what they have done so far for what we're seeing. But I mean, what they have done so far isn't particularly bad, to be completely honest. I mean,
nothing notable.
Yeah, get more
other than Eric Kendricks. I want to make that clear. Eric Kendricks is a good signing.
Yeah. Get more for your star quarterback is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And you're not doing that. You're just trying to have him carry your entire team. Also, coaching staff needs to be blown up if the owners of the Chargers are watching. But anyway, I think I'm going to give them I'd give it a C-. I think I'd be confident giving them that. You need more. I mean, I'm not going to hand you an A for being a good team already and not doing anything. You need more weapons for him. Let's be completely honest. And you throwing some away and then not doing anything during the off season is not helping your team at all. So, okay. And that was it for your TP Sports Show. We hope you enjoyed everything today. Next week we'll be covering the NFC. We do have a special trip coming up that we will cover. That is our trip to the NFL draft up in Kansas City. Pretty close, so we thought we might as well go, and we'll report back in a whole hour-long episode of everything that we do up there and just the entire draft in general, all the movements.
Our thoughts on the draft and improvements to teams, hopefully.
Yeah, so from both of us, thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you guys later.